Hello, guys, and welcome back again to the FPL Duo. We're back for the team selection video for game week 16. We hope everyone's having a good start to the weekend. Obviously, we've just actually came off a stream half an hour ago. We did the transfer tips video, and we're back again for the team selection. So, again, we hope everyone's doing well. And yeah, how you doing, Jordan? Obviously, we've just literally come off of a stream, but yeah, you doing okay?
Yeah, it's still good, and welcome back, everybody, to the stream.
Yeah, a lot of streams to come. I think this whole December period is going to be chocker. Until the 30th December, literally, it's going to be streaming every day. You see, it feels like. But yeah, we do enjoy doing what we do. So that's a good thing, I guess, at the end. We've got a recap game week 15, which was pretty bad, all things considered, for myself. I'll quickly run through game week 15. Obviously, we did talk about it, I think, yesterday. So I won't spend too long on it. So in goal, I did have Dubravka, and annoyingly, he did concede 3 goals to Everton. Obviously, Trippier, still annoyed at him. But yeah, Newcastle did lose. We know Arsenal lost a clean sheet against Luton. Livramento was auto subbed in for Simicast, who didn't start. So Livramento comes away with a 1-pointer. And Burma gets his penalty. Palmer scored against Man United, which was good. Got an 8-pointer for me. Saka got an assist against Luton, which again carries on returning. Son did blank in Spurs' 2-1 loss to West Ham. Salah blanked as well because he was my captain, did end up with 6 points. Then up front, nothing really. Watkins and Haaland playing against each other. Obviously, Aston Villa did win 1-0 and, no returns for my strikers. So Watkins and Haaland blank. Nothing on the bench, really. Areola was injured. Simicast got the auto sub. Taylor blanked, as well as Archer. So again, he was all round a pretty poor week. Palmer was my highest scoring player with 8 after his goal against United. So all in all, it was a small red arrow of about 20k. So it wasn't the biggest red arrow in the world. It was 35 points for me, so very low scoring week for me. The average was 35. So I think one more point I could have got a green. So bit unfortunate, but yeah, small red arrow, 35 points all out, and that's how my game week 15 went. Let's recap your game week 15, Jordan, as well. Talk us through how it went as well, just briefly, and your rank as well.
Yeah, it was a bit of a successful game week for me. I started with the goalkeeper finally, got a clean sheet from finding a goalkeeper in my team, and that's from Leno. But obviously, Fulham won massively, 5-0. So a 6-pointer from him, which was pretty nice. Moving on to the defence, not so much. Taylor conceded, so he only gets 1 point. He also got a yellow card. Trippier, he conceded 3 against obviously Everton. No clean sheet for him. And a point taken off for goals conceded, so it needs him with 1. But there was some success because Simicast didn't play. He was also subbed on for Branthwaite, who did get the clean sheet, obviously against Trippier, where he got his 6 points for the clean sheet. So it was a return in defence and one from the goalkeeper, which was nice. Moving on to the midfield, a bit of a run. We've got Matoma, who got an assist with 5 points. Same with Saka as well. He got 5 points as well for 1 assist in that 4-3 win over Luton. Salah did blank, surprisingly, and only played 66 minutes, but he did get a clean sheet point, which left him on 3 points. And in Mbeumo, he did obviously score before he got injured from his twisted ankle. And yeah, he got 6 points. And finally, we got Hwang, who was my transfer in, who got the double haul, 10 points for scoring the only goal in that 1-0 win over Burnley, and got the clean sheet and bonus 2 points on top of that, which obviously he finished on 10 points, which was nice. And up front, we got Haaland and Alvarez, who both obviously blanked in that 1-0 loss to Aston Villa. So not much really to say for those two for this week. And just on the team bench, got Areola, who obviously didn't start. And Wissa, he played about 50 minutes, but got a yellow card, so he ended up on 0. Simicast didn't start. Obviously, he was also subbed off. And the annoying thing of this game week was probably Luka Dean getting a clean sheet against Man City, who's on my last player on the bench. So he got his 6 points. But apart from that, it's been a nice game week, I think, for me in terms of my rank. Is a green arrow from 160k up up to obviously 75. So it was a nice jump back into top 100k, which I'm striving to get back into top 10k. Where I originally was about 6 or 7 game weeks ago. And 49 game week points, I think, for this week is pretty good considering how bad a lot of obviously teams did, especially with Son, Watkins, Salah, Haaland blanking as well. So I think it's been a very good game week 15.
Mm-hmm. So that's how our game week 15 has unfolded. We are going to move it along to game week 16, which is what we're here for, team selection. And so I'll pull up my team, and I've actually done my transfer, guys. So I'll come on to what I actually did in the end. So I did do my transfer last night before a price rise. So to catch the price rise early. So this is what my team looks like. So in goal, I have Areola, who was flagged, obviously because he didn't play due to that minor wrist injury, I believe it is. So he should be back against Fulham. So as you guys can see, I've got Dubravka on the bench. So I probably will play Areola because he's got a better fixture. But if he is injured again, then Dubravka will come in. But I plan to play Areola. In the back three, there's a bit of a headache who I start, because as you guys can see, I am benching Saliba and deciding not to play the double Arsenal defense, which I want to get your thoughts on that as well, guys. Would you play the double Arsenal defense, or would you go with what I've played? So which is Gabriel, who's got Villa away, and I don't expect a clean sheet for Gabriel or Arsenal with the way Aston Villa are playing at home. I've decided to start Livramento ahead of Saliba, and this is the decision. Do I start Livramento or do I start Saliba? I could change it tomorrow deadline stream, but as of now, I'm going to play Livramento against Spurs, and even then, I don't really expect a clean sheet for Livramento. But the reason I've decided to play him is just to reduce that risk in the chance Newcastle do keep a clean sheet, rather than going all in on Arsenal and it going wrong if they can see. So bit of variety with two teams. So Livramento's in there. And then to complete the back line, probably my best defender this week in terms of a potential clean sheet, and that is Tsimikas. He will start after his rest midweek. So I'm happy to play Tsimikas against Palace. In the midfield, obviously, a couple of flags, which is annoying. And Burmo, again, we know what's happened to him. He's injured. He's going to be dealt with. So I'll come on to him in a bit. Palmer's got Everton away. I think Everton away is actually a tough fixture now. The way Everton are playing after their 10-point deduction, it feels like that's kind of drove them on, put a bit of fire in the belly to go and prove the Premier League sort of wrong. So Everton, I don't think that's an easy fixture for Chelsea, but Palmer at his price, the fixture's coming up. I'm happy to play him. Saka again against Villa. I think that's going to be a tough game for Arsenal, but Saka's in the team for longer term reasons, and obviously the fixtures is why I have Saka. And yeah, I'm just going to hold him for this fixture, even though I do think Villa is a very tough game for Arsenal. Obviously, because Aston Villa, just that win against Man City was brilliant. Son is the one I think is an interesting one because he's currently flagged. Now, for those that didn't watch the game last night, Son was limping near the end of the game, and then after that, after the final whistle, he did look in serious pain. So, and also I saw some reports though after the game. A reporter asked Son, "Are you okay? For are you injured?" And Son apparently replied, "I'm okay. I'm okay." So we don't actually know what the situation is with Son. So I am going to play him, I think, against Newcastle at home. Now, we know Newcastle's away form is pretty bad. They've only won one away game this season, I believe. So I'm happy to play Son. He is Spurs' main man. And yeah, I think I want to hold Son for a couple of more weeks. So if Son is fine, I'm going to play him. If I hear he's injured or he's going to miss out, I could be tempted out to take him out, to be honest. But as of now, my plan is to play Son. Salah completes the team. Obviously, he's got Palace away. And again, I think it's a decent fixture for Salah. Obviously, Palace are struggling themselves, not really looking great. Haven't really won many matches so far this season, especially in the last 3 or 4 matches. I think they've been a bit poor. And I think Liverpool going away, either 12:30 kickoff, which does slightly worry me. We know that kickoff time and Liverpool is not the greatest with any team really, but Liverpool seem to always play at half 12. I don't know why, but it's a bit annoying as a Liverpool fan, but hopefully Salah can do the business. And then up front, I've got Watkins, who's got Arsenal at home. More than happy to play Watkins. I think Aston Villa are on fire at Villa Park. Unai Emery is doing a brilliant job, and I'm hoping Watkins can do some damage against Arsenal. And to complete the attack, I've got Haaland, who's got the best fixture on paper in my team. Luton away. We know Man City haven't won 4 games. Sorry, Man City have no wins in their last 4. And that actually hasn't happened to a Man City team since 2017, which is about 6 years ago. So this shows that Man City don't normally go on this poor run of form. I think Man City players will be angry. They'll be wanting to prove themselves again. And I kind of feel sorry for Luton if I'm a Luton player. I know Luton are decent at home, but I still think Man City can easily go and smash Luton, if I'm being honest. And we'll see Man City bounce back to their normal form. So Haaland, he's for me, he is the standout captaincy choice. I haven't really considered Salah this week, if I'm being honest, and I'm going to keep it on Haaland. He's got Luton away. I'm more than happy to captain him. And on the bench, as you guys know, I've got Dubravka, who I could play, but I'll decide Ariel is a better fixture. Saliba could come in instead of Livramento, but I want to go Livramento and de-risk and rather than play double Arsenal. I've got Taylor there as well if I need him, and then Archer as well. So I've got one free transfer and 0.4 million in the bank. I've done the transfer already last night, and it's an obvious move. I think I've spoke about it on the team selection. Sorry, the transfer tips. This won't be a surprise. So Mbermo is coming out the team, and the player I'm bringing in is no shock in that is Anthony Gordon. So Anthony Gordon comes into my team for his fixture against Sheffield away. So again, it's a good fixture for Anthony Gordon and Newcastle. We know Newcastle have just had a disappointing result against Everton. And I think Newcastle will be looking to put things right. And Anthony Gordon is a player that I've wanted in my team for a couple of weeks. I just couldn't fit him in because I had the perfect midfield. And Burmo is injured. And I think Gordon's a no-brainer for my team. So that leaves me with 1.4 million in the bank. So quite a lot of money to spend in the coming weeks. I'll have to see how I, use that money. Maybe in defense, try bringing a Trippier or a Trent. We will see. Maybe if Son is injured, I might take a -4. So I haven't ruled out a -4, guys. Obviously, Son, depending on what the situation with him, come closer to the deadline. If I hear Son's out, I'm not against taking a -4. But for now, the plan is bring Gordon in and yeah. Sorry, Spurs away. My bad. Little error there, not Sheffield. It's Spurs away. I've just fixed the graphic there. So yeah, he does have Spurs away, guys. Just a little error. But yeah, still, it's not the greatest fixture, but I think Spurs they've not looked great. They've lost a few matches now. I think that's 4 games now in a row where Spurs haven't picked up the win. So I'm quite happy to own Gordon, and I still think Gordon's open play threat is still very good. So again, I've wanted Gordon for a few weeks now, and I'm just happy to have him in my team. So, as I said, that money will enable me to maybe fix my defense in the future, namely looking at a Trippier or a Trent. But as of now, I'm fairly happy with the team going forward and how I'm lining up for Game Week 16. Let's pull up your team then. Actually, I was going to ask you a question about my team.
Yeah.
In regards to Livramento v Saliba, would you be playing Livramento as well?
That's the thing, because if you're expecting, well, hopefully, if Son does play, if you're expecting Son to score, then you kind of want to not really play Livramento if you're expecting Son to score against him.
But I expect Watkins to score as well, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm seeing the 2 clashes there. Aston Villa obviously clash with obviously Watkins, Austin and Arsenal, and then you got Son clashing with Livramento. It's 2 clashes, and 9 of your players are away, 2 are home. Again, it's not telling what kind of game week that's going to bring for the team, but in terms of defenders, you should be fine, if I'm honest. I don't see many clean sheets this week again.
Yeah, I don't either, to be fair. So it's one of those weeks I've just tried to get away with it with a green arrow. I'll take it.
Yeah, I think with the midfield and the forwards, it's just relying on those. I think for this game week, I don't think defenders not really much to worry about. Just as long as the attacking players like Son and Watkins do well this week.
Yeah, so that's what my team is looking like. I've done the 1 free transfer. Gordon's come in, and we'll see how it goes in regards to game week 16. Obviously, it is a deadline tomorrow, so make sure you do tune in tomorrow morning. I'm just going to see. It is an 11 a.m. deadline, so we'll be streaming at 10 a.m. UK time. So make sure you tune in for that, guys. It's going to be a good one. Also, if you are enjoying the content, please do consider smashing that like button, guys, and getting us to 1,000 subscribers. We are now very, very close to the big 1,000 subs, which, again, would be amazing if we can hit that before the end of the year. Okay, so Jordan, Game Week 16, what are you lining up like? And what's your plans as well in terms of transfers?
Yeah, I'm quite. I think I'm in a good position this game week because I don't really have any headaches like I did 2 game weeks ago, which was a very annoying 2 game weeks. But yeah, in terms of this week, we've got a lineup of a 3-4-3, and in goal we've got Leno, who has West Ham at home. I think I'm gonna play Leno over Areola, even if he does. Even though if Areola is fit for the Fulham away fixture, I'll still give Leno a chance, even because of the clean sheet he gave me last game week. I don't expect a clean sheet from him, but maybe he can get me some save points, and yeah, hopefully he can maybe hold off West Ham in that game. But yeah, I'm not bragging on a clean sheet from him this week. Moving on to the back three, so we've got Simicast, who has Crystal Palace away. He was rested, obviously, last game, so it makes it more of a fortuitous time where he does play against Crystal Palace away, which should be a nice fixture for Liverpool. Next, we've got Trippier, who has Tottenham away. I'm not looking forward to this. Honestly, I'm probably going to look at, hopefully, there's not many goals conceded by Newcastle against Tottenham, as their away form, as we saw against Everton, are pretty poor. So yeah, I'm not really expecting much from Trippier either. And finally, we've got Taylor, who's got Brighton away. Again, I'm not expecting a clean sheet from Taylor either. So yeah, it's going to be a pretty, I think, quiet game in terms of defenders this week for me. Because apart from Simicast, he's my best hope of a clean sheet, I think, in my defense. But yeah, you never be surprised. Maybe Taylor could pull off a madness like he has done. Moving on to the midfield, so we've got Salah, who's got Crystal Palace away. It is an early fixture, but maybe there is some returns for Salah this week compared to obviously last game week where he didn't get anything, but only a clean sheet point. But yeah, hopefully the early fixture doesn't put off any Liverpool assets like Salah. Next, we've got Mitoma, who has Burnley at home. I think that's a good fixture for him, especially when he got obviously an assist in his last game against Brentford. I'm quite happy to play Mitoma. Hopefully, he can get a goal in that Burnley home fixture. That's pretty good on paper for Brighton. And yeah, I'm pretty confident about Mitoma now. Next, we've got Saka, who has Aston Villa away. I think this is a great fixture again. Saka's been keeping his form up with assists here and there, a goal here and there. So yeah, as long as he keeps returning Saka, I think he's a good holding player, I think, in the midfield for now. And next, we've got Hwang, who has Nottingham Forest at home. After Nottingham Forest's defeat of Fulham 5-0, again, I'm quite chuffed with this fixture, because if Nottingham Forest is still playing the way they have been the last 2 game weeks, I feel like this is going to be another heavy score for them. And hopefully Hwang is part of that. He has got 9 goals now this season, Hwang. So he's almost in double digits for obviously 10 goals. But yeah, hopefully he can equalise on the 9 he's got so far. And moving up front to the front 3 forwards, we've got Haaland and Alvarez, who both have Luton away. Now, there should be a fixture where Man City should bounce back in. It will be tough to break down Luton at home, because obviously we've seen that so far this season. It is tough. We should not underestimate how well Luton are at home. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Haaland is obviously the captain for me. And next, we've got a interesting player that I transferred in 2 game weeks ago, and that was Wissa, who has Sheffield United away. Now, I wasn't expecting to play Wissa in game week 16, but because Mbeumo got obviously his injury, it has allowed me to somehow work around that and play Wissa, who has Sheffield United away. So this wasn't planned at all. Wissa was purely just a cheaper option to go for, who had a decent, obviously, fixture against Burnley. But with the fixture against Sheffield United away and Mbeumo injured, I think that's giving me high hopes that Wissa can potentially get something from this game. And as a differential, yeah, I'm quite in a good position, I think, to play him, especially with the other flags. But yeah, that's my starting 11s. The formation has changed back to a 3-4-3, and just on the bench we've got Areola, who has Tottenham away. I don't think. Sorry, he doesn't have Tottenham away. That is a mistake. He has Fulham away.
Yeah.
We've got Brantford, who has Chelsea at home. Luca Dean, who has Arsenal at home. And obviously in Mbeumo, he's not going to play against Sheffield United away because he has a twisted ankle and he's out for a couple of weeks. I do have 0.2 million in the bank with 1 free transfer. And I think it's going to be a boring one for me. I think I'm going to roll the transfer because I don't know what I'm going to expect next game week, if I'm honest. Just seeing the flags from other teams just gives me that sort of frame of mind that I should be keeping these transfers if I don't necessarily need to use them, which for my team it doesn't look like I need to. I'm not really considering a defender transfer at the moment. I think that's completely ruled out of my books because 0.2 million I can't really get anyone either unless they get rid of Trippier, which I don't want to do. So yeah, I think I'm just going to roll the transfer over into game week, obviously 17. So yeah, I don't think I'll be using a transfer for this upcoming game week, and yeah, I feel like I'm going to roll with what I got on my screen.
Yeah, I think that's a good decision. To be fair, I think you're in a quite a good spot to roll because I like the picks that you've got, especially Hwang and Wissa. And Hwang and Wissa are very low owned players. So if they do anything against Sheffield and Nottingham Forest, you could be on for another big rise. And yeah, I just think your team looks fine with those two players in there and very low owned. I'd be playing Wissa definitely, and rather than bringing in another player. So yeah, I think rolling for you does make sense. The only thing I could probably change in your team is, would you consider starting Braithwaite? Because we have seen Everton; they are pretty decent at home, and we
Yeah,
know Chelsea are a weird team. I wouldn't actually be against starting Braithwaite ahead of Taylor. Have you given that much thought?
yeah, I actually have thought about that. I was going to say on the deadline stream I might switch Braithwaite out for Taylor, just to because I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Everton have played really well at home, and they have kept clean sheets at home against teams like a Chelsea, and Chelsea have struggled so far this season. So I wouldn't put it past Braithwaite to get a clean sheet or nick one from
Yeah,
that game.
and obviously you don't have Palmer, so it's not like you'll be back in against Palmer. You know, you be kind of, yeah, as I said, you don't have Palmer, so it's not like you can't play Brentford and hope Palmer doesn't score because you've got the
Yeah,
Everton defender, so there won't be a clash in your team.
yeah. I think fortunately for me, there isn't any sort of defender to attacker clashes in my team. Yeah, there's none at all. So yeah, I might consider just playing Brantford instead of Taylor. I think
Because
it might be.
Mitoma clashes with Taylor. I've just realised.
Yeah, I've just literally seen that now. The clash between Matoma and Taylor. I think that was the issue I made when I did Hwang with Taylor last game week. So yeah, I think I'll replace Taylor with Brantford. I think that'll be the only change I'll make in my team.
Brilliant. So yeah, it looks like you're in a good position to roll. Obviously, I've done my move. I've done Mbermo out for Gordon, and I'm happy with that. And Son is the only one who the flag does slightly worry me. But we'll come on to comments in a bit. I just want to say, if you guys are tuning in, you guys are enjoying the content, please do smash the like button, guys. It really helps support the channel. And obviously, we're growing at a faster rate these days. And it's because of your likes, because of your comments, and because you're sharing the video. So please do subscribe. I think we are literally about 7 or 8 subscribers away from 1,000, which would be, again, huge for the channel. Got a few comments here. Mr. Blanky, hello, lads. I bought in Palmer for Gordon. I think you mean for Mbermo, right, with the price rise. I was in two minds with Palmer and Gordon, but ultimately went for Palmer. I think Palmer is the correct decision if I was picking. Obviously, I've already got Palmer, so I bought Gordon in. But if I had to pick between Gordon and Palmer, I still will slightly edge Palmer just because the longer term, the fixtures are a bit nicer. 49 points is pretty double decent for this week, Jordan. Well done, mate, says Tendai. Obviously, talking about your game week.
Oh yeah, thanks, Tendai. I didn't realize how bad of a game week it was when I got 49. I thought it was pretty not good at all. I thought it would be pretty bad for my rank, but yeah, it turns out it was very good game week for me, and surprised not a lot of people did have a decent one.
Jezal, I hope I said your name right. Tottenham less likely to score than Arsenal. Possibly.
Yeah,
I mean, Tottenham do have Newcastle, don't they?
yeah, but we've seen how Newcastle are away.
Yeah, Newcastle's away form doesn't bode with much confidence for me anyway. But who knows? I've bought Gordon in as well, so we'll see. Huss, who would you bring in for Son? Says David. To be honest, I actually have no idea. If Son is actually out and is confirmed, which isn't yet, I wouldn't know who I'd bring in because around that price range, there isn't someone that I'm looking at thinking, oh, I want him. There isn't one player I have in mind potentially, which I know Jordan may not like as a pick, and that is actually Raheem Sterling.
Oh,
because again, 7 million. it was a bit cheaper than Son. Raheem Sterling's got the fixtures, as we said, with Chelsea's swing. Raheem Sterling, because I do want to be different as well. I don't want to be so template where I don't have any differentials in my team. I think Sterling could be one potentially. If you want to be different, you want to take a risk. Sterling is always at potential. He can get you a haul. But obviously, there's risks attached with going double Chelsea attack because we know Chelsea are a bit of an up and down team and you don't really know what you're going to get with them week to week.
Yeah, I was kind of when you said I'm not going to like this player, I thought you were going to say Bruno Fernandes for a second there.
Nah, not Bruno. Yeah, Sterling. What do you make of Sterling though? I mean, you've had him. I remember you had him for that haul against Luton, but do you still think he could be a decent pick in the next 5-6 games? Obviously, the fixtures are quite nice for Chelsea.
I don't know because Sterling's not really consistent. He's sort of hot and cold, so he's like a 1 week punt to go on if he has a good fixture, like for example the Luton one he had where I did bring him in for and he got a double haul. But yeah, he's a hot and cold player. He's not a consistent one. That's why I prefer Palmer. He seems to be more consistent in terms of his returns, and obviously Sterling is, and because of the price difference as well. I think it's like a no-brainer. But again, a lot of people will go for Palmer, and Sterling is a little bit different because no one really look in that direction. If you're looking to go different as well, then at the same time, Sterling could be a nice pick. But I don't know how many returns I expect in the next 5 with the fixtures the way they are nice for Chelsea.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, it's another comment. You could bring in Andreas to totally second Jordan if he hauls. I think he's on about bringing in Andreas. I mean, who does Andreas actually have? He has
West
Ham. I mean, I'm not looking at Andreas, but yeah, I mean, he could do well. Abhishek says, please suggest a goalkeeper to pick along with Dubravka in my Gameweek 16 wildcard. If I'm being honest, if Areola is fine and he is ready to go again, I would have Areola in my team still because I think Areola rotates quite nicely with Dubravka, and obviously Areola is still quite cheap. And the problem with going Dubravka and a 3.9 million goalkeeper is that if Newcastle sign a goalkeeper in January, which is possible, then you could have no playing goalkeeper. So I still like Areola. If you don't have Areola, and if you think he's going to be out longer term, obviously Leno's done quite well for you. Is there a goalie you suggest along with Dubravka?
You could take a wild punt on Sanchez, Chelsea.
Oh yeah, actually,
with the nicest fixtures Chelsea have in the next 5, maybe there is some potential with Sanchez.
Yeah, actually, you reminded me of Sanchez. That could be decent. Yeah, Robert Sanchez, Abhishek, the Chelsea goalkeeper. Yinka with a comment: should I bring in Son for Diaby this week? Bring in Son. I mean, I wouldn't bring in Son right now. He's flagged. Unless you mean bring in Diaby, which I wouldn't do either. So no, definitely not Yinka.
No, I don't for -4. We don't know about Son. I mean, there was a press conference this afternoon, and Postecoglou, I can't say his name, but he did mention Son had a back injury.
Postecoglou.
Yeah, he did mention Son had a back injury, but I didn't get much else from obviously that press conference about whether he starts or not.
I currently own Diaby, looking at Son after Newcastle, looking at Gordon as well. I already own Palmer, so I wouldn't be bringing in Son now because of the flag. I would wait and see what happens with Son. If Son starts, then maybe longer term you could bring him in. But as of now, I would probably look to bring in Gordon, if I'm being honest. And Diaby right now is a easy sell for me because Bailey, for those that didn't watch the Man City game, Bailey was really impressive against Man City, and he looks like he's gonna nail down that starting spot now for Aston Villa.
I would really like to take a punt on Pascal Gross for Brighton with the fixture he has against Burnley at home. Off of a 12-pointer, getting the goal and assist against Brentford, I would feel very positive. 2.5% owned and 6.3 million. I think if I was going for a pick like that as a differential going different, I would go for Pascal Gross, I think.
What's Pascal Gross's ownership?
2.5.
Oh, wow. So maybe one for the community draft tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely one to consider for the community draft.
Comment here from Martin Pond. What do you think of Son to Bowen?
I like the move. Bowen has Wolves. He scored in the last game week. So yeah, I wish I had Bowen still in my team if I could fit him in. I'm quite missing out on Bowen.
Fulham next for Bowen.
Oh yeah, sorry, Fulham.
Fulham and then Wolves. So 2 decent fixtures in game week 16 and 17. After that, it's Man United, Arsenal, Brighton. So it does get a bit tougher after game week 18. But the next 2 for Bowen do look good. And we've seen Bowen, he's a bit of a consistent returner. He does have 9 goals already this season, which is pretty impressive, considering he did miss a couple of matches through injury as well. So yeah, we like Bowen as a pick. He is obviously a bit more pricey, 7.4 million, I think he is. But sorry, 7.6 million.
Yeah.
So it was a bit too expensive for me to do Burmo to Bowen. I couldn't do it. I was 0.2 short. But if I had the money, wouldn't be against it. The only problem with Jared Bowen, bringing him in, he takes up a lot of money. And if you want a Trippier or a Trent, potentially an expensive defender, having a Palmer or a Gordon allows you to spend more money elsewhere. So that's the only reason why I'm not too keen on Bowen, because he does take up a bit of money. But Animations, on the other hand, has done did my move of Bowen in for Mbermo. That think he's set and forget. Appreciate you lads. Keep it up. Well, thank you, Animations, for the kind words. We really appreciate all your support. And I still think Bowen's a great pick, as I mentioned.
Yeah, I think if I had enough money to do that, I'd probably do the same move this week if I could able to do it, because I just like Bowen in my team. I think massive miss, 9 goals this season. I think he's a little bit underlooked for his ownership. But yeah, I think even if West Ham lose, still Bowen finds a way to score in games.
Yeah, I mean, also he's had 1 assist as well, so not a bad little season so far for Bowen. Also, we've got another comment here. Hey guys, what's your thoughts on Reece James? Well, we'll probably want to have an interesting chat here about James, because obviously we know the Chelsea fixtures do turn, and they are quite nice right now. But obviously, I spoke about Reece James a couple of weeks ago, and I said I'm looking at him potentially. But if I'm being honest now, I'm not looking at him as an option, just because I don't trust his minutes. Yes, we know he's injury prone, so always has a risk of potentially going down hurt. However, if I'm taking a look at his last 6 matches, he played 45 minutes against Man United. He didn't play in the win against Brighton. He played 72 minutes against Newcastle, played 63 minutes against Man City, played 76 minutes against Tottenham, and then played 23 minutes in game week 10 against Brentford. So he hasn't played 90 minutes at all so far this season. He's got 1 assist as well so far this season. So his attacking returns aren't actually that amazing so far. But we know the history of Reece James and what he can do in previous seasons. He is that defender that can get you a 12, 13, 14 pointer with a goal or an assist. But I'm not so sure I trust the minutes, because he's not playing 90 minutes, or he's not looking like to. But the fixtures again do turn, and if you want to take a risk, he could be worth it. But what's your thoughts on James? Because you've been pretty adamant on James and how you're not a fan of this move.
Yep, still am. Still not a fan of the move. Not enough minutes. Injury prone. 5.4 million. Let's not forget. So he's not a cheap defender to go for. And if he's not playing 90 minutes, then yeah, I'd have to hope he plays at least 60 minutes to get a clean sheet. But I don't see many clean sheets for Chelsea, even though their fixtures are nice. I still wouldn't pick James as a pick. I'd rather go for the goalkeeper Sanchez, I think, over Reece James. I just know Sanchez will play every game, and you can see more likely a clean sheet coming from the goalkeeper rather than a Reece James.
Obviously, he will still get the clean sheet points, but you mean like the playing every game?
Yeah, playing every game and playing enough minutes, because you obviously have to play at least 60.
Play 60. Yeah, I know what you mean, to get the clean sheet points.
Yeah, that's what would scare me.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of in the favor of bringing James in, but recently, the last 2 games, I'm not too keen. Just the minutes, he hasn't proven the fitness to me still. So if he proved the fitness, maybe, but he hasn't so far. Yassine with a comment. I asked you last deadline about who to captain, Jesus or Arnold. I chose Jesus. They both did great. This game I'm doing cash to Reece James. So Yassine here, a Reece James potential owner. So yeah, there are still people that are still keen on Reece James. They'll look at the fixtures and they do look good on paper. We'd be being honest, but I'm not ready to go there yet with Reece James. But credit to everyone that is, and hopefully it does pay off for you guys. Animals World with a comment. What about your opinion on Gordon? Well, I've just brought Gordon in, so I think he's a great move and great reliable pick. So yeah, I like the move at Animals World. What about your thoughts on Gordon? Obviously, Jordan, I didn't really get your thoughts on him as a pick.
Yeah, well, Gordon as a pick is really good at the moment, especially with Newcastle's stacking injuries. Gordon was at one time a risk of being rotation, but I don't see that happening anytime soon for him. So he's pretty nailed in the position he's in, especially with Wilson still being out and Isak only being the lone striker. That does allow Gordon to have more attacking threat up front as well. So yeah, I think for Gordon's a good pick, regardless of the fixture that obviously Newcastle do have. I mean, even their away ones can be a bit iffy, but Gordon's always looking strong in the home fixtures.
Also, that game yesterday when they lost to Everton, there was parts of that game, I think near the end, where Gordon was playing down the middle and then Isak went to the left. So if Gordon plays up front a bit, that's another potential plus point. Playing up front for Newcastle, which is nice. But I don't think it's going to be a frequent thing. But again, Gordon does pop up and get you goals. He'll get you points, I think, still assists, etc. So I still like him, and at his price, 6.1 million now. I think he's a good value for money pick. Animation says Colwell in next game week is going to be my transfer. I mean, yeah, I prefer Colwell, I think, to James possibly, because obviously Colwell's only 4.5, 4.6 million, and he should play majority of the games. He doesn't really have the reliability issues like James has. So you could look at Colwell as a potential option for sure. And I don't hate that move either. And Harry Davies also, my team is a shambles. They're all basically playing each other, so not expecting much. Son is only concerned injury-wise, but he seems to be injured all the time, but still ends up playing the game. Yeah, I do agree with the last point. Son always seems to play when he's injured anyway, and similar to like Saka. So let's hope Son is fit. Jordan, question for you from David, and then I think we will probably wrap the stream up soon. It says, Jordan, you have 2 City and 2 Brentford with game week 18 coming up. What are your plans? Obviously, there is a blank game week in game week 18. Obviously, it's still a way to go, but have you thought about what you're going to do potentially?
Yeah, I have definitely kept an eye on that. Obviously, I have 4 players that we were blank in game week 18. And yeah, by the time game week 18 comes, I'm hoping to have 2 free transfers to take out Alvarez and to also take out, well, Mbeumo as well. So with the rest, Wissa and Haaland, I'll probably bench both of those, but take out Alvarez and Wissa and replace them with 2 other players, which won't blank in game week 18.
Fair enough. Yeah, we'll probably see how it goes as well. Obviously, it's still a while to go. Game week 18, obviously, there could be potential free hits. I've seen people contemplate free hitting that week. So, yeah, we'll probably do some video and content on that closer to the time. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, Man City and Brentford both blanking in that week. Would you recommend going for both Trippier and Trent? I mean, if you can fit them in with your budget, then why wouldn't you? Because they're both great picks. But I mean, it's very hard to do that when you want Salah, potentially Haaland as well. So it's very tough.
Yeah, it's very hard to get a nice midfield with Trippier and Trent in there as well. But it's a very dangerous defence that is Trippier and Trent combined, especially the way Trippier is at home and the way Trent is at the moment. All nice returns in a row for Trent. So yeah, there's a lot of points racking up for them too in the future, I think. But as I said, there's not many defenders to pick from really. The expensive ones seem to be the way to go, but it's just fitting them in, which is the trouble. But I would recommend both.
Yeah, I'd love Trent in my team. It's just so hard. I don't know how I'm going to fit him in, to be honest. I mean, if I got rid of Son, maybe it becomes a possibility. Downgrade Son to a cheap midfielder, then I can easily do it. But it's just, I mean, who do you think is a better option though, Trent or Trippier after game week 18?
After game week 18, I still think, well, that's an interesting one because Liverpool's fixtures after 18 are a bit mixed. They got Burnley, then Newcastle, Bournemouth, and then Chelsea, and then Arsenal. Whereas Newcastle, their fixtures, they're a bit like
they play Liverpool, Man City as well around that time.
Yeah, in 20 and 21 they play Liverpool, Man City. So I think Trent had to pick to go forward after.
He's a lot more expensive though, about $1 million difference. So some will say, just get Trippier and save that $1 million.
Yeah, there is that as well. If money is tight.
Yeah, because Trent is very hard to fit in, but I still think when Trent is on that form, he's one of the best players in the game because he can just get you an assist or a goal, or if he gets a clean sheet, then it's a double-digit haul. So, yeah, Trent looks like he's back to that. A couple of seasons ago when he was getting like double hauls every game. And Harry also says, is Salah all right as a captain choice since I don't have Haaland? I mean, Salah's always good as a captain choice, but I still just prefer Haaland this week. It's Luton. For me, Haaland is the clear choice this week, but I don't think Salah's ever a bad captain choice. Would you say?
No, and Salah's never a bad captain choice. He can score in any fixture, whether it's easy or difficult. Just because of the early fixture, it may put people off. Because the early fixtures always seem to go a bit iffy and weird. But I still think if I didn't have Haaland, I'd probably captain Salah myself.
Yeah, I mean, you can always try bring Haaland in if you can, which you would, again, and bring him in and captain him. But obviously, Haaland does blank in game week 18, so maybe you could try get away without Haaland until game week 18 and then bring him back in after the blank. So tough decision to make as non-Haaland owners, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think we'll leave it there, Jordan, for today. See, back-to-back streams. And we are going to wrap it up. We are back again tomorrow, as you know. We're back 10 a.m. UK time for the deadline stream. So make sure you guys do tune in tomorrow, 10 a.m. UK time. We'll stream for an hour, talk us through, deadline stream, any questions, any answers that you guys need. Also have a bit of a chat between us, and it should be a good stream. So make sure you guys do tune in tomorrow morning. As always, should be a good stream. And yeah, thank you guys for watching the content. If you are enjoying it, as always, guys, all we ask for is a like. Hit that like button. You don't really understand how much it helps us out. It's all we ask for. And also thank you to the new subscribers as well. We are now, I think, 6 subscribers away from 1,000, and I'm hoping to hit it still before the new year. So yeah, thank you guys, and good luck to everyone. And yeah, I see a few of you in the chat, David, Neil as well. Thank you, Neil, as well. Obviously, we're speaking on Twitter for a bit, which is nice. Talking to Neil, and obviously Yinka as well. Good luck to you guys as well. Yeah, good luck to everyone in the chat for Game Week 16. Hopefully, you can get that green arrow. And anything else you want to add, Jordan, before we do go?
Yeah, just take care, guys. Obviously, see you in the morning. Make sure you tune in for the deadline stream. It should be full of some excitement. Obviously, with the late call with injuries and what we do with our players and whatnot. I'm sure you have lots of questions leading up to that. But yeah, until then, hopefully on deadline stream we do hit 1,000 subs, because I feel like that should be the stream where it would make the world to us if we could hit it on that stream. But yeah, until then, Leazo, take care and enjoy the weekend. It's now here. But yeah, see you later.